So you went to Walmart or your local bookstore and purchased one of these nice new fancy calculators that cost $100, maybe even up to about $150. Most people, they're called a TI-83, TI-84, or the Plus versions. These are your nice graphing calculators that's recommended for most of your math classes you'll have to take. But you've never done any of this in your life, so really you have to figure out how in the world does this even work. So we're going to start at the very basics. How do you turn this darn thing on? So you're going to come down here to where it says on, and you're going to hit on. Voila! You see the blinking cursor. That's a good thing. That means your calculator is on and ready to go. But if for some reason you don't need to use your calculator at the moment, how do you turn it off? You hit this button here that is second. It's the yellow button. You hit it, then you come back down here to on. You hit it, turns it off. Simple as that. But let's say you actually want to work on your calculator, so turn it right back on. Blinking cursor, yay. So we're going to start with the most basic thing you can do. Let's say 55 plus, you're going to hit this little button right down here, the plus button, 23. Type that in. 55 plus 23. Then all you have to do is hit the enter key. Purple button down at the end. There's enter. You'll hit that. That's the addition for you. 55 plus 23 is 78. Let's clear that out. How'd I do that? I hit the little button here that says clear. It's right below your arrow keys. Now let's do 24, and we're going to subtract 19. So minus, button just above your plus, and now 19. So 1, 9. Then we hit enter. Gives you 5. You've done that. Now hit clear again. Remember where clear was? Just below the arrow keys. Hit it. Multiplication. 23 times, where's the multiply button? Just right above your subtract button. Hit it. 4. Then hit enter. Tells you that's 92. Let's clear that out. Let's say we want to do 15. Divide it by, down here with the purple, and then 3. Hit enter. And you get 5. But let's say we want to divide something else. Let's say we want to divide 5 by 2. You don't have to type 5 again. You can actually just hit the divide key, and you'll see something pop up that says ANS. That's short for answer. So that's 5 based on the last problem. Then hit 2. It tells you it's 2.5. Now why would you ever do that instead of actually typing in the answer? 5's pretty easy to type, but let's say your answer is something along the lines of 145,328, and you're going to multiply that by 25. And then you get your nice big long answer right there. I don't want to type all that out again. You probably don't either, so I can just hit times, ANS, pops it in, 3, gives me my new answer there. That's why you would do that. There's 1,000 different things you can do on this calculator, and we're just going to introduce you to some brief ones. Next, let's work with parentheses. A lot of your problems, you'll have to do multiple steps. So let's say we have 5, and you see a parentheses. What you're going to do is come down here to your button. It's just above your number pad, and hit the parentheses button. That opens it up. And then you want to do 4 plus 8. So 4 plus 8. And then what you're going to do is come down here and you're going to close your parentheses. It's right beside the open one. Then you hit enter. Tells you that 5 times 4 plus 8 is 60. What did you do? 4 plus 8 first, since it's in parentheses, and then you multiplied it by 5. It's the reason you would do that. Now, sometimes you have multiple grouping symbols. So let's try 10. We type that in, and we're going to use a bracket. What a bracket does is it's a grouping symbol, but it's more of an intermediate grouping symbol. And how do you get to bracket? You hit this yellow button that says second. Then come down here to your parentheses, hit the one that opens it up, and then I'm going to type in a 2, and then I'm going to open up a parentheses. And let's put in 3 plus 4, close our parentheses. But what else do we have to do? We have to close the bracket as well. So come up here to second, hit it, and then hit your parentheses again. That makes it a bracket, so we close that off. Now, we get our answer there. We had to say 3 plus 4 is 7, times 2 gave us 14, then times 10 gave us 140. That's why we had to use all of the extra grouping symbols on this. That's why brackets and parentheses are used. A couple of other things. You may have some issues come up where you're going to do something to exponents. Let's say you have 5 squared. You can type in the 5, and then come down here on your calculator where it says x squared. You can see it right there. You hit x squared, and that gives you 25, because 5 times 5 is 25. But let's say you don't want the exponent or the square of something, you want the square root. Let's say you want the square root of 36. So what you have to do is come up here to where it says second, you'll hit it, and then your x2 button. That pops up a square root. And what you do with that, then let's say 64. Type it in, close your parentheses, hit enter, tells you the square root of that is 8. Now you won't always be working with things like square roots. Let's say you want to know what 8 to the 4th is. 8 raised to the 4th power. So you type in 8, and then you'll come up here to a little button that looks like a part of a triangle. It's basically just a little arrow above the divide sign. You'll hit it. And then you'll type in 4, and it will tell you 8 to the 4th is 4,096. That's awesome. Let's say you don't need to know what it is to the 4th. Let's say you need to know the 5th root of 32. This gets a little complicated, but how do we do it? You type in 5. Then you come up here to the math key. It's located just below the green alpha key. You hit it. Then you'll see something pop up that says Math, Num, CPX, and PRB. You're interested in the one that is the 5th root of something. So you're going to come down here to number 5. So you can see the x square root. Arrow down to it and hit enter. Pops up 5, then x square root key. Let's type in 32. Hit enter. Tells you that that's 2. Another good use for it. Let's say you also want to know what the cube root of 25 is. You can type in math and then come back down. You can see here on 4 where it says 3 and then your little arrow and then your square root sign. You hit it. And then cube root of 27, type it in, gives you 3. Really is as simple as that. There's so many of these different tricks and techniques on it. I'm going to show you quite a bit more in the next video.